Boom shakalaka, Bitcoin bounced exactly as we predicted. Today's video, we're going to go over the reasons why it bounced and also where Bitcoin price is likely headed in the short and long term. You definitely want to stay tuned. What's up everyone, Randall here from Crypto Love. Happy Saturday to everybody out there. Today's video, we're talking about this massive Bitcoin and cryptocurrency bounce that we predicted was going to happen a few days ago, and it came to fruition. What this means for Bitcoin, plus where it could be headed in both the short term and the long term, specifically what levels of resistance we need to keep an eye out for. Now, before we get into that, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, click the notification bell. Also, come join us over on Twitter at the Crypto Love, and let's take a look at things. Guys, the fear is back up to fear. It's not extreme anymore. As a matter of fact, it's the highest it's been since December. Over 2 months, we've been in extreme fear. Not anymore today. And there's a good reason for this. Pretty much the entire market up 10% today. Bitcoin at 41,588, Ethereum over 3,000 at 3030, BNB at 429, Cardano at 117, Solana at 116, XRP at 67, and Terra at 57.62. Now, this is something we've been talking about for quite a while because there's been a very, very clear divergence in just this one chart here. We've been saying that historically, Willy Woo posits, and I would repeat, almost retweet what he posits, in that Bitcoin price follows hash rate. Now, you can see here, hash rate in orange, price in black. Well, they're pretty darn correlated up until about December. At that point, the hash rate continued to increase to all-time high levels, meaning the Bitcoin blockchain is the most secure it's ever been, and yet the price has continued to go down. Curious. As a matter of fact, there's other charts we've been taking a look at, like the 21-day EMA realized profits. We saw that anytime it was below this $400 million line, like what happened in July of 2021, well, guess what? That was like the bottoming zone. Could be we already have a reversal in progress, but that's not it. Because we also said the entity-adjusted dormancy flow, making just recently the 4th best time ever in its 13-year history to buy Bitcoin. Is it 13 years? At something close to there. And also, if we take a look at Bitcoin versus USDT dominance, every time USDT hits this resistance level and gets squeezed there, guess what? USDT dominance goes down, Bitcoin price goes up. So this is another thing we were taking a look at, which brings us to what happened today, yesterday, within the past 24 hours, where Bitcoin had the biggest one-day percent gain since February 8th of 2021. Way back there, and even as big as before that. But if we take a look at February 8th of 2021, that was way back here, this giant one-day candle right here. And guess what? That candle actually had Bitcoin price higher than where it is today. That had Bitcoin price of $48,000. It is not yet at $48,000. So, that being said, what's to come for Bitcoin? What levels do we need to keep an eye out for? Well, it appears as though we do have a macro trend reversal. Historically, whales tend to be pretty smart buying and selling Bitcoin. We could see that as the price was going up, they were accumulating Bitcoin, this green line, until there was a massive sell-off with that first peak there. And then they started accumulating again, probably sold the top there again. And now it seems like they are accumulating once again, which brings us to what looks like we may not actually be having the third cycle of Bitcoin. This might only be the second macro impulse cycle of Bitcoin. Now, this is something new. Tech Dev over on Twitter has put this together. He's saying that, hey, potentially, instead of having halving related cycles, it's actually larger macro cycles that get larger and larger and larger. Coincidentally, it puts basically 2 of these halving cycles together into one. We can see 2011 and 2013 right here form the first impulse cycle before a correction. Now we have the 2017 being the first part of that. And then we have a little bit of consolidation before we have what happens in this year being absolutely huge, potentially putting Bitcoin price into hundreds of thousands of dollars and sending altcoins skyrocketing. But that's kind of a little bit far out at the moment. Let's look a little bit closer. Well, if we take a look at Bitcoin price, we can see that Bitcoin right now is at critical levels. It's actually busting through this dotted blue line that we've been talking about for quite a while. This has been previous resistance for Bitcoin back in November. Again, in November. Pretty close here in December. Again, in December. And it appears as of right now that we're breaking through. We'll kind of have to see, make sure it doesn't get rejected. But like I said earlier, this is something that we predicted a few days ago, even last week, saying that, hey, Bitcoin has bottomed, the recovery is happening. Why? Well, if you take a look at these yellow dotted lines here, these are basically when the RSI downtrend has been broken. It happened back here in September of 2020. It happened here in July of 2021. And again, it just happened this week. And on average, the last 2 times that it happened, Bitcoin was in for 330% gains. So that could potentially send Bitcoin price soaring a 3x from where it is right now to $150,000, somewhere in the area that we're talking about here with the 0.618. But in the shorter term, there are definitely some levels we need to keep an eye on. So first thing would be this downtrend right here. We want Bitcoin to close above there, maybe even find some support on that downtrend before taking off. So that's very important. Also, this teal box right here. If you take a look at the volume profile, and I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so it'll show more of the volume profile here on the right side, you can see that there are very significant peaks here around $47,000 and also around $57,000. So those would be the major areas of resistance that Bitcoin has to break through on the way up. So the first area we're at right now, the $40,000 to $42,000 area. Then another one between $47,000 and $49,000. Then 53, which historically has had a lot of money change hands over the past year and some. And then once we get through there, pretty much smooth sailing until $58,000. After that, it's all downhill if you take a look at the volume profile there. So those things would be areas to keep an eye out for with Bitcoin. But that being said, everything is looking good. Looks like we are having a market turnaround, barring any massive crazy events. I think we are in for the year that we are looking forward to, with a little hitch. You do have to remember that March is historically a bad month for Bitcoin. So March may have the price pull back a little bit, but then April, May, June, July, great months for Bitcoin. So guys, that's all for today's video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to like, subscribe, click the notification bell. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll catch you later. Love you. Peace.